We're live.
Still off air on mine.
It's live on this end.
Yeah, it's saying live for me too.
Yeah.
Alright. What's going on with Fabio? Not sure. But he should be on in a second, but
We're live.
alright, this is
Still
our
off air on mine.
yeah.
And remember to mute your mics when you're done talking so we don't get that feedback.
Alright. What's going on with Fabio? Not sure. But he should be on in a
We'll have a
second.
delay.
Who's
There's a
that
delay.
coming
Still
from?
off air on mine.
Yeah?
And remember to mute your mics when you're done talking so we don't get that feedback. Where's that feedback?
Oh, you know what? I had mine open, my bad. I think we should be straight now. You good, Fabio?
I'm good. I'm live.
Everybody's live?
Yes, sir.
Live after death.
Alright, so we back for another week. Second podcast. Last week was our test run. We just kind of want to see, see how we could do this and see if it was possible. That was actually my first time ever going live with a chat. I mean, this is something that we've been doing for years already, as far as just Google Chat and just hanging out and talking. So, last week was a little more formal, but we just want to kind of kick it this week and just lay back. So, this is both nice, and I'm joined here by my man Pharaoh Black. Fabio, a.k.A. Kolonel Krackers, excuse me, and my man Emiya Starlock. They can introduce themselves, though. My bad.
I mean, I'm Pharaoh Black, Black Sunday 19 on YouTube. I mean, it's really what it is.
What's going on, guys? I'm Fabio. Oh, I'm muted. Fuck. No, I'm not. What's going on, guys? I'm Fabio. They call me Colonel Krackers, and you can follow me at Colonel Krackers across social media.
Alright, is there still any kind of feedback?
Test run. We just kind of want to see, Somebody's got their YouTube open.
Not me.
I have no idea. Anyways, I'm Emiya Starlock. Just a collector.
All right, so what we
Hello,
talking
everyone.
Cool. So the first thing we want to introduce here is today's the post date for the round 2 of the World Championship tournament, and I literally just got done with mine like less than an hour ago. So
I'm literally posting
still washing off.
to the events tab right now.
So we just kind of want to talk about what are our feelings going into round 2 right now after round 1, which was kind of the qualifier round like we talked about last week, but this week, today, the post day is round 2. This is a serious shit. So, what are you guys thinking coming into it? Pharaoh Black, let's go to you first.
I think a lot of dudes step the game up, period, all around the board as far as the tournament goes. I think they're now getting to understand that the shit ain't a game. That, personally, a lot of people come to me and ask me about my scoring system and everything, and like I tell them, I say, it's the tournament. So a lot of shit that flies on your regular pitches or whatever is just not going to go, as far as the tournament goes. You really got to bring your all to it. And I'm glad to see the people who have advanced, great for them. The people who didn't advance, at least they gave their all. I mean, it was, I just think that there's a lot of, professionalism all around the board. I'm excited to see it. So.
Boog, you want to go next?
Yeah, man. So I got like a ritual when I'm doing the tournament. I'm usually the one posting up the videos to the events tab. So I try not to look at anything until all the videos are posted. Usually I'll wait till the next day, to that Monday morning, and watch them. So I haven't really watched anything yet, but just looking at the stills or the images that people are sending in as their thumbnails, everything is looking pretty crispy, man. Sometimes when you look in, or me personally, when I be looking through the events tab and scrolling up and down, it's probably about like 70-30 as far as everything looking real crisp and clean and everybody's pictures looking really good. And for the most part, all of the pictures that I've seen so far look really, really good. So that leads me to believe that everybody brought their A game and everybody's looking good as far as their displays go. Like you mentioned, this is round 2, so pretty much a lot of the newcomers and a lot of people that wasn't really prepared is already out. So this is pretty much a lot of the top people in this round right here. So I expect to see everybody bring their A game and really bring it. So I'm excited, man. I'm definitely excited.
All
I
right.
didn't enter the tournament, so I don't really have too much to say about it. But from what I've seen so far, it looks like the quality has definitely gone up from previous years.
Cool. So are you actually going to watch any of the videos this year? Because they were mentioning last week that you don't watch any videos. Or at this time.
I only watch, like, sometimes I see like some friends enter. I'll watch theirs when they put it up, but I don't really. I'm very, very busy with work, so I don't always have like a lot of time to sit through every single one. But usually, if I know somebody, I'll usually watch it.
Well, like I said, I just got done with my entry. I just emailed it in like 45 minutes ago. The stress is still kind of coming off of me, but I'm feeling good about it. I think I came out with a solid idea, and my execution was pretty okay. But Pharaoh, going back to your scoring system, like you were saying, man, in round 1 you were my top scorer, and I was so surprised because you're ruthless, man. And I don't know, I guess you like my leather face, but yeah, thanks for that. But going into round 2, man, I know it's a whole different ball game, and got to think outside the box as much as possible, and I hope I accomplished that with my display.
I think that all of us, we pretty much, the judges we have, for people that don't know that's watching or listening to the second hand, the judges this year is myself, Boog, Pharaoh Black, Slings of Web, John Connor, and Todd Ortiz. So I think we got pretty much the strongest judging panel that we've had in all of the years. It's all A.C.B.A. admins. It's all people that know how to display, that know what A.C.B.A. looks like. So I think we have a really strong team, and one of the things that I really like about it is that we don't all agree. We argue and we fight, and Pharaoh is ready to kill Todd on many occasions. So
man, don't even get me started with that shit, man.
But I forgot what the hell I was about to say. But the point I'm making is that in round 1 we pretty much, I wouldn't say that we go easy, but we're not. We trying to narrow it down. We know what to look for. We know who's not going to make it or who shouldn't be going to the next round. And in round 2, we could kind of even get in our comfort zone as judges and really, look for who's going to make it to the final round. So I think round 2 is probably like one of the most important rounds. No question about it.
I just want to throw this out here, just personally. If the way the scoring system is set up, you could do really good on something like effects, and especially if it's like a double category, and you could just suck ass in the other part of the category, and you're gonna kill your score with me. I mean, a lot of people look and say, "Hey, man, why did I get a 3?" But well, technically, you got a 0 in the other category. So I mean, like I scored you as high as I could, and in one end, and I mean, you just you lost your shit in the other. I mean, it's nothing personal. I don't know. People take a lot of things that I do personally or whatever. It's not that. I just got to make the best of what it is that I'm giving. I mean, if you're giving me shit, I just got to give you shit back. I mean, no offense, but
you really just gotta be very, very cognizant of every single category. I'm big on like creativity and originality. If I see you, I'm looking at everything. I'm on a page all day, every day. I'm looking at everybody's display. I know for the most part everybody's style. And if I see you do something in a tournament that I've seen you do on a page, I'm not fucking with you, really. Like, I'm not, as far as creativity and originality go, I'm not going to really score you high. If I've seen you pull the same tricks off many times, this is the World Tournament. This is for cash and prizes. You're supposed to bring your A game, and you're supposed to think completely outside of the box and really bring it. So, you got to really look at every category and really, really look over your display and say, yo, have I really hit every category and really taking it to the next level. So again, we're gonna see what happens. I haven't looked at any of these things yet. I'm still actually posting to the fan page right now. Yo, did we put up a link in in the group?
Yeah, I'm putting it up right now on Instagram. But dude, I got the bags under my eyes to prove the attention to detail. I've been paying attention to this display the past 24 hours. It's been crunch time nonstop here. I'm gonna go to sleep as soon as this thing's done. Honestly, I stayed up all night working.
Yeah, I think we got only maybe about a little over half of the people that's supposed to post right now. So I think a lot of people is waiting to the last moment. That happens a lot. It's a lot of people.
We got 2 people down on the show here because they're working on their display, so they're not building an app.
Definitely.
I mean, I'm lucky because I was able to get some good lighting in here and get it shot early because I thought I was gonna have to wait till it got dark out here for me to start shooting, but I think I made it work.
So what else is going on? What y'all purchased this week? Anybody bought anything new?
I bought, man. I bought a bunch of shit, man. The price was probably about $400 this week. The Robin from the Arkham Knight. I bought another set of DC icons to keep on ice or whatever. Shit, man. I bought some more animated series figures. I bought a bunch of stuff, man. Some import stuff. I paid my Emiya bill or whatever. That the Sentinel the Sentinel War Machine to be coming in. The Bruce Lee and some other stuff I got coming. And
oh, you know what? I got to get that Bruce Lee. I think Pancho had an extra Bruce Lee. I'm gonna get the Figma one too. I think it looks decent. A lot of people saying the Figure Arts one is gonna be the better buy, but I think a lot of people are anticipating these articulated icons ninjas too. They want to put their Bruce Lee up against the ninjas and all of that. So.
See how that goes. As big as they are, I mean, that's gonna be a huge size difference.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, actually.
But I mean, speaking about the icons or whatever, you know that the backer kit closes what this week? What next week? Was it Wednesday?
25th.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you if you're listening to this the day after or maybe 2 days after, and you still have time, like you said, the 25th. The backer kit is closing, and they actually, we actually had hit them up and encouraged that they put the Devoted Legion or multiple Devoted Legions as an option. So let's say you threw down $1,000 and you just like fuck it, you want to get 2 Devoted Legion packs, and you can do that now. Before it was whatever you pledged initially, and then whatever you added on, you would just have to break it down individually with 3 packs or basic ninjas or whatever the case may be. So if you want to pledge or if you want to cop multiple Devoted Legion sets now, you can. But again, you only got to the 25th to do that, so that time is the close date is rapidly approaching. So even if you want to jump on somebody else's pledge, and you didn't pledge initially, but you got a homie that put down something, then you can definitely do that as well. So I know. Like we talked about last week, I know they probably, caked up even more. It made even more money with other people throwing down. So, Emiya, what did you buy?
I got some Hot Toys in this week. Some of the Star Wars ones. I got that Sideshow Deadpool. I actually forgot I ordered it, and it just kind of showed up.
You opened it?
The 1/6 scale Deadpool?
Yeah, you opened it?
11?
You opened it? I
opened it. It's actually better in hand than I thought it was going to be. I mean, a lot of people seem to be pretty satisfied with it in the community.
I just saw listening's review too. I just saw this kid's review, Shawnemus's review of it. It looks pretty good, man.
The only thing about it is, I guess it's still kind of the material of his bodysuit is kind of thick. I guess I'm just used to being more form-fitting.
It looks kind of like weird.
Yeah, but I mean it's a nice figure. It's a good first figure in the line. I mean, guys have been making 1/6 scale custom Deadpools for years. So
right, definitely.
They finally put one out. And even if you don't like the bodysuit, I mean, you can always go around. There's a ton of guys, putting out bodysuits.
How many did you cop, man? Because for people at home that don't know, Emiya is pretty nuts with it. Like he's, probably being modest right now, but this dude has shit that like just crazy. His house is like a museum. He's got mad figures, every line, every scale, everything. His bill per month on figures must be nuts. It's like a mortgage or some shit, probably. So, how many did you buy? Just one or two or what?
Just that one. I just bought one. I ordered the exclusive one, the one that comes with head pool.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I actually forgot I ordered it, and it just kind of showed up. So yeah, it's a nice figure. I got around to opening it like just a few days ago, and just to mess around, make sure nothing was broken and stuff like that. Because 1/6 figures, because a lot of time, sometimes if you don't open it and check it out and inspect it right away, there could be something wrong with it, and you open it like a year later or something, so something's broken, you can't return it or get replacement parts or whatever.
How is Sideshow with that, with like replacing stuff or?
They give you 30 days. 30 days, like from the day you get it, they have 30 days from that point to to contact them. So I always try to make sure I do it within 30 days. Because sometimes I'm busy and I don't have the time. Because some of those figures like takes a certain amount of time to like inspect. Because you gotta take it out of the box. You have to look at everything, move the figure around, make sure no joints are broken, make sure they have all their accessories, things like that. So it's interesting how they did the Deadpool too. The way the head comes off actually is different than other 1/6 scale figures that I've like than your Hot Toy.
It looked like it wasn't on there that securely. Actually, it looked like it was like.
It's like there's like a cylinder that's attached to a ball joint, and the head slides over the cylinder. So it's a kind of a odd. I never seen Sideshow do it before, so it was definitely kind of strange for sure. But like I said, overall it's a nice figure. Everyone's hoping that Hot Toys does one when the movie comes out, and there's a lot of guys are waiting on that one.
Yeah, there's no question they're gonna do that. That's money in the bank for them, no question about it.
Right.
Yeah, and people love the design for the movie, so guys are gonna be hoping for that. So
when is the movie even due out? I don't even know. Is it next year?
This year. It's next year, 2016, but it's not too long from now actually. Maybe like in like February, March, around that time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you addressed that suit on his body, man. That thing, I don't know, the mixture from the plastic head and then that.
Yeah, I mean, you always get the impression that he's wearing some kind of almost leather outfit, like that type of texture where it's more shiny. And what he's wearing is something like, I guess, like I said, I mean, it looks a lot like if you collected, like, I mean, Pharaoh, you've bought like the Sideshow, like a G.I. Joe. That's what it reminds me a lot of. It's just like a Sideshow G.I. Joe 1/6, but it's a Deadpool one. It's a very similar kind of figure.
Pharaoh, you didn't buy it?
No, I started to, man, but my whole thing was I know they're going to make one from the movie, and it's probably going to fit more like a Hot Toys, like a Snake Eyes or something.
Yeah.
More form-fitting costume, maybe something leather looking, or maybe like that Dazzle looking sheen shit. I don't know. That sweater just wasn't doing it for me, man. It just
the figure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you there. The suit is the one thing. If you can get over it, it is a nice figure. I mean, I definitely think it's a good first attempt for Sideshow. As far as the Marvel stuff goes, the next one's Punisher, and Punisher's something that's easy to do because it's just a dude wearing a trench coat and some regular clothes. You just give him a bunch of guns. But I would say right now, considering the price for Deadpool was like $230, like $220, something like that. I would say that I don't think it's up to the Hot Toys quality level yet, but it is getting there. He comes with more accessories than your average Hot Toys, but overall I'd say Hot Toys, the actual quality, they just feel more solid, overall than Sideshow right now. Although Sideshow, like I said, it's definitely getting better.
What was that Punisher that came out most recently? That was Sideshow?
Which Punisher?
Didn't the Punisher come out recently?
It's not out yet. It's up for pre-order.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually the second figure in their 1/6 scale line. It's pretty nice. Like I said, I was like what me and Pharaoh were just saying is that it's an easy thing for them to do because it's just a dude basically, it's just like it's like a G.I. Joe guy, but he's wearing a Punisher t-shirt, or Punisher shirt, essentially.
No doubt.
So, here, I can screen share it. It's right here.
So while you do that, let's what else we want to talk about? We want to kind of keep these
Well,
Well, I
speaking
mean,
of figures we picked up this week, we want to talk about those Home Alone figures.
Oh yeah, that's right. I want to get those, man. You picked them up,
do
though, right?
you?
Yeah, they are. And I picked them up this week. They are super nice.
They
I still
nice.
haven't opened them, but
Man, you dudes are
I
tripping.
dig them a lot, man.
Well, you know why I want them though? Because of the facial expressions are so crazy, man. Like you could have some fun setups, some fun displays with them, man. I think like they could be like you know how people do with this fucking the Woody shit. Like those
Right.
could go on to be really like fun figures and displays. I could see them being really popular, man.
I
Although you
mean,
got to be careful with still a kid. You don't want to do anything weird.
I mean,
But it is a
well,
nice face.
oh, go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm just saying these are just nice figures. I haven't gotten around to opening them yet, but I will. And like I said last week, this is the kind of packaging you just open it and then take out the bubble and
What's
take
the
out
what's the price point?
So this sits nicely on like a bookshelf or whatever, and it's nice packaging too. Like it's got like an embroidered sweater sort of look, like an ugly Christmas sweater.
They got
Are they like 30? They're like
Really
$30.
Yeah, they are a little pricey. I used a couple of True coupons to kind of knock down the price, but it's the average price of their retro figure line, which is like the Mego style dolls. They're
30
slightly
bucks?
bigger figures, plus they have fabric clothing, so they're $30.
$30.
I mean, they're not bad. Okay, I mean, all of us grew up watching Home Alone, so I mean, it holds a certain nostalgic value. But I mean, I don't know, that oversized sweater on Kevin, and I don't know. I thought about buying them. I seen them. I looked at them. I said, this is just a shabby doll. That's my opinion. I ain't like fuck that. I'm not buying that shit. Maybe
Well,
I don't know. If
that's
I
kind
go,
of the draw
if I
for
go
them
and
is
have
that they
nothing else
all,
to buy, I'll buy it like that. If I have nothing else to buy, but I doubt it.
like I said, I use True coupons because it is a little pricey, especially Kevin, who's significantly smaller than the other ones. He's the same price, and that kind of sucks. But the accessories are nice too, and heads and hands, and Kevin comes with a little pizza box you can use for scenes and stuff like that.
That's the thing about True though. You gotta hustle, man. You gotta use them coupons and you gotta price match because especially if you're in New York City, man, they hike up the price on every fucking thing in True, man. So like it's probably like that in LA too. I wouldn't be surprised in certain parts of Cali or whatever, but only I would say probably in the Midwest and stuff like that is where you could get reasonable Toys R Us prices, but like everywhere else, man, they be
Sure.
nuts, man.
But I mean, I'm not gonna like hurry up and go buy anything from NECA anyway. I think NECA they do. I want to say they do quality work because I think their sculpts and everything are nice, but they're not consistent enough for me, especially in the superhero department. I mean, it's just like all over the board. 1960s Batman, yeah, Heath Ledger Joker. Like, I mean, I've been waiting for. I mean, last year I bought the Michael Keaton Batman. I'm still waiting for my Jack Nicholson Joker. You know what I mean? I just
Licensing.
they start.
Honestly,
Say what?
it's really all up to the license holders because Jack Nicholson, his likeness is worth like tons of money, and NECA just does not have the
Yeah, even
money to bankroll that do that sculpt. But
Didn't they do it? They didn't do a 18-inch.
even an 18-inch, the likeness rights are just crazy expensive.
yeah, Hot Toys.
They're not tied to the
I mean,
movie.
why go into it half cocked? I mean, if you're gonna do the line, then go do it. If not, then leave the shit alone. I don't really see the reasoning.
Some single figures here and there.
Yeah,
That's kind of what it is. They have like lines, and then they have like every now and then they can do this figure because of such loophole or because they sold it through the Warner Brothers store, not officially through NECA. That's the only way we can really get those 7-inch DC figures because otherwise those rights are tied up with Mattel and whatnot. But the reason we were able to get Michael Keaton Batman is because they did that video game version and they optioned it as the 25th anniversary of whatever DVD, and that's how they were able to get it out there in the regular colors.
Man, like I said last week, I haven't bought a NECA figure in years before I bought the T800 a couple weeks ago, and I think that figure came out dope. And because that figure was so dope, I went and bought the Leatherface, and I'm looking forward to. I actually put the Ultimate Freddy on my Secret Santa. So
I mean, some of that shit is dope. But I mean, like the whole Terminator thing, like they're doing the Ultimate Sarah Connor, the Ultimate T1000 or whatever. I mean, see, Terminator, you get a line, so I'm pretty happy with it. And the quality control over Terminator figures, Alien figures, well, not, I won't even say alien because the alien figures actually break a lot. I mean, that's the biggest thing with NECA to me. I don't want to go home and heat my figure up for 20 minutes just so I can move the joints, and then when they settle back, I have to do the same shit over again. That's bullshit.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, and a lot of guys over there on like on NECA pages and stuff, I mean, they just take it so seriously. Like, oh, you need to do this. You should be doing this. You know this by now. Man, listen, this didn't come with an instruction booklet. It's a goddamn figure. I open the figure. I want to be able to fuck the figure. I don't really want to have to go through, hoops and all type of other shit to make sure my figures stay together. Especially being an adult collectible. I mean, it doesn't mean it has to be fragile.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I agree.
I mean,
it does suck, but
it's something
you learn.
Go ahead, Fabio. My bad. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it's just kind of something you learn when you're collecting figures for a long time. Is just how to handle them, and that's just one of those things that comes with the territory of collecting figures. Is every now and then you get some stuck joints, and sometimes the best way to get rid of it is just some heat applied.
We're not arguing against your point, but it turns out to be more than every now and then. When you start seeing like multiple pictures around the internet of all these figures broken into pieces, you got to step back and like say, okay, well, we're doing something wrong. Same thing with DC Collectibles and that clear plastic they use with joints. They're starting to learn now that shit is bullshit. Those big figures are not going to hold up under that clear plastic. It has no flex.
I mean, not to mention that, like, what's happening right now with collecting. Displaying is synonymous with collecting. So everybody that's a good majority of people that's buying figures right now as collectors are also posing and displaying. So it's like they have to step their game up. You see NECA featuring people on their fan page that are putting up pictures and shit like that. They know what it is. They know that it's popular right now. So everybody's got to pretty much step their game up as far as
definitely
posing goes. And people complain about legends and paint and shit with legends, but like you could pose the shit out of a legend though. That shit's not breaking right now. You know what I'm saying? So
it's very rare to break a legend. That's true. The plastic is a little more gummy. NECA is a little more stiff. I just got my first Funko figure actually, and
oh yeah,
it was okay. I got the I'll bring it over in just a sec, but I got the Skyrim Dovahkiin. It's pretty nice. I think the paint work could be a little more detailed because you could use like a wash or something like that. But what really bugs me is I'll go bring it over, but the elbow joints are just super, super loose. I can't even hold like the sword in a good pose. It just flip flops on itself. I can't stand it. So it's just there in a vanilla pose, museum pose.
That's another company with that clear plastic shit that I don't like. Those things I went through a couple of those Funko figures. They just break apart. They crumble. I think the Rocketeer is the most sturdiest one I've had. So
I didn't really see anything from Funko that really kind of, excited me to want to buy anything. Like I was halfway kind of interested in the Game of Thrones stuff, but I love the show. I like the show, but I just, I wasn't really that invested in the characters to buy the figures, and they didn't look that great to me. I watched all of Glenn's reviews of them, and I was good just watching the reviews. I didn't want to go out and purchase them. I was okay just watching the review.
I started to buy that figure actually, Fabio. I was just in GameStop yesterday, and I seen him, and I don't know shit about the characters. Actually, not to even switch subjects, I just want to throw this out here. I'm the type of collector, I don't have to be invested into a cartoon or anything to buy a figure.
Yeah, we know that.
Right. I mean, I personally think Dragon Ball Z has got to be the worst cartoon ever. That's just my opinion. I do not like Dragon Ball Z, but I do buy the figures, and I have no problem, going back to some references to make sure that I'm not doing some stupid shit like having Vegeta fight Nappa.
But you do it anyway.
Right.
I mean, if I feel like it, I'm gonna do what I want to do. It's my figures. I'm just saying, I try to make sure that at least I do know what I'm doing. So at least when I do some goofy shit, I can say, well, I do know this is not what it's supposed to be. I just want to do it.
So why don't you like Dragon Ball?
I don't know. I just don't like it. It's just all that screaming and all the lead up into One Punch. Like, you know what I mean? It's a bunch of. No, man, that's just bullshit. That's filler. They just stretching the damn episode out longer than it has to be. I mean, give me some more. I don't know.
No, right, exactly.
And it's stupid. Like, isn't certain things.
That was the first thing I caught on as a kid. Is I mean, I liked it when I was a kid. Like I said last week, I'm kind of a casual fan, and I just watched it after school, whatever, because it was on TV, and I was eating, SpaghettiOs and whatnot. But I don't know, man. Even as a kid, I could tell, like, oh man, this storytelling style is just not for me. It's just so, like, I mean, I couldn't put it into words as a kid, but I was just like, why do they rip their clothes in every episode? Why do they scream so much? It's just so, I don't know. I mean, I remember the characters, and I remember the memories having, of watching the show, but I don't know, man. I'm just not the biggest fan. I wasn't that kid walking around your high school or middle school with the silk shirt with the big Vegeta print on it. I wasn't that kid. I was the other guy. I know
None of y'all motherfuckers was that kid. What the fuck? Emiya was probably that kid.
No.
Hey, I mean,
in high school we had to wear uniforms, so.
So you can't bust out your silk Dragon Ball Z shirt, but you wanted to.
When you get your uniform days,
my stepfather had one of them shirts, but I went to my mom's crib.
You wanted to wear it.
He came out with the shirt on, and you know how you do the look on it,
right, Pharaoh? You wanted to wear it.
You said what?
You wanted to wear it.
No, man.
You wanted to wear it, didn't you? No?
My step pops, Army, Sergeant of the Army, he don't watch cartoons, he don't do none of that shit. So when I walked up and seen him with a Goku doing some shit like this with all these Chinese letters, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it's just not for me, man. I just think that it's the worst when you watch it with commercials in between it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, so you get the big lead up before the commercial, then once the commercial comes back on, you get this other part of the lead up. It's like, that's all right. I'll pass on that.
Well, I will say that the new movies have been pretty good, man. They were pretty entertaining. I liked them as a kid, though. I was definitely not into Dragon Ball Z, though. But when the figures came out, just to kind of go on what you were saying too, Pharaoh. Like, I'm like that to a certain extent too. If the figure is dope, the figure is dope. It don't matter what happened on the show to me. If it's gonna pose, if it's gonna look nice and pictures on a display, then usually I fuck with it. But I'm actually
the opposite. I actually, all the stuff I buy, I watched all the series, I read all the comics, everything for the most part. At least, if anything, for the U.S. it's a little harder because U.S. comics, the nature is they just keep going on forever. But I at least am generally familiar with the characters. But I mean, I do, being in the fandom and stuff, I do see a lot of guys who do, do what you guys do, just basically buy off a visual appeal and stuff like that, which I guess is cool. It's no big deal. It's fine. But I know it is something that sometimes when you do see, I do have to admit that sometimes when I do see like people posting pictures of a character doing something inaccurate, it does bug me a little.
I seen the comments you left on some of my pictures before.
Yeah, the crossovers with me, man. I just can't fucking stand it, man. I can't stand crossovers, yo. I don't care what it is. When I see that shit, it just turns me off. I won't like your picture, man. I won't look at that.
I
breaks. You better
not any of this shit.
That's a personal thing. That's not a technical thing. You can't dock points for that.
Yeah. You're right. Don't get it confused though. In a tournament, it doesn't matter. If you do a crossover, if it looks clean and everything looks clean, then I'm gonna score it accordingly. But like just as a personal preference, like I don't like it. Yo, who was that posted that picture? Let me see if I can look in the group. They had the Hulk chasing Batman.
Oh yeah.
The picture looked pretty good, man. But it's a fucking crossover, man. I can't fuck with it.
I agree. I'm not a huge fan of crossovers either. Only sometimes when it works, or if it's an established universe with like source material, with like my tournament entry or some like classic crossover like 30 vs Jason or Alien vs Predator. That's chill with me because that does have its backs.
I mean, none of the shit bothers me unless it's Batman. I mean, I'm pretty biased with Batman.
Batman versus the world.
Yeah,
Number one trope.
When you see the Golden Age Batman sitting next to the Silver Age Robin, it bothers me. Animated series with the New Adventures, it bothers me.
At least you understand how I feel.
No doubt.
I know how you feel. Listen, but it's a lot of these cats don't know. A lot of these cats say, hey, well, I got this Robin, I got this Batman, I'm going to put them together. And it's like Chris Gupton, me and him had a conversation, and he had the New Adventures Batman in the animated series Batmobile, and I told him, that's not the Batmobile. He was like, well, What Batmobile, you know, I had to go through and show him or whatever. But I mean, just I don't know. I'm just like that with Batman. That's just my thing. Like,
I kind of feel the same way. I mean, there's something to be said for like a good photo, like a portrait shot, where like everyone in the shot, like an Avenger shot or whatever, has the correct costumes from the era that they're trying to portray. If you have like everyone in classic costumes and then like the new modern Vision, that just throws off the whole thing for me. So there's something to be said for definitely knowing the source material and knowing what figures and what costumes or what appearances or whatever to use in the shot.
Yeah, people fucking these up crazy too.
Cleaner display.
A lot of people fucking these up and don't know what goes with what. These figures too. It's
right.
Gets on my nerves, man. Shit. But if you don't know, this Batman and this Robin, they go together. This is from the original animated series that first came out. Where if you watch it right now, it still holds up okay. It's not horrible like maybe like Transformers or G.I. Joe or something. It's still actually pretty decent. Early 90s right here. So those
speaking on that line,
go together. What you say?
I like the DC Collectibles Batman animated series line a lot. I like looking at the pictures, and I'm kind of on the fence about getting the Batmobile, and I know that's a slippery slope. And if I get the Batmobile, I'll get the fucking the figures to go with it and every single appearance. But I'm really, really waiting. Hopefully, they do a Justice League Unlimited line. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I really
all
think
those fucking characters, him in that Bruce Timm style, that would be really cool.
I mean, I think that's what's going to end up happening.
I think they mentioned it. I think they mentioned that for sure.
Yeah, I think they mentioned it before. Definitely, it's inevitable that was going to be the ultimate goal.
Well, whether you like it or not, that means another Batman. So
yeah, no question.
But they're always
here. I bought all of the Batman.
But yeah,
I mean, they keep pumping out Batman. I keep buying them.
If they do Justice League in that style, it's gonna sell, no question about it. People are gonna love it. So, moving on. We've been talking about this for a second, but moving on into we still going to talk about DC. Let's talk about DC icons because last week we talked about it right before they had dropped. I think Pharaoh is probably the only one that I know as far as their group is concerned that had them. So who fucked around with them? Emiya, you copped any of those?
I bought only Batman.
Yeah.
Just to try it out. Yeah.
You opened it?
Yeah, I opened it.
What you think?
It's good. It's not bad. I mean, the range is not as good as something like Marvel Legends, but I think if we're comparing to DCUC, it more than suffice. I think, in my opinion. Anyway.
I copped a couple of things this weekend, mostly DC collectible stuff from the animated series. But I was with my man Dave. We went up to Magnum Comics uptown in the Bronx, and he copped the DC Icons Batman, and I opened it in the car, or whatever, and fucked around with it. And it is a really nice figure. The sculpt is nice. Just having them in a vanilla stance, it looks very, very nice. But like you said, the range for me, like the fact that it has no upper thigh swivel and no and the head and neck articulation is ass is just like, yo, if that was on point, that would have took that figure over the top. That would have been like probably one of the best Batmans ever released. Maybe.
Yeah, I think if they expand the range on the hips, maybe make it so the leg can go up a little farther, and also again, add the thigh swivel and stuff. I think definitely would be a lot better. And the small thing add as well.
Yeah, that lack of thigh swivel.
I think that DC collectibles in general, DC Direct as they used to be, I think their main thing though is to have everything, fit in form.
Yeah, they want the body line is very important for DC collectibles. Like they usually want to keep the sculpt body line, so they don't want it to get a lot of breaks and stuff like that. That's understandable. They've talked about it before because they have a lot of pride in their sculptors and stuff, and they want to keep the what they consider the sculptural integrity of the sculpt. So.
But I think the Icons line, personally, I've been waiting for a minute. So when they came, naturally when I was able to get them, I snatched them up or whatever. I still like them. Like Boog said, like I said in my review, the range in the legs, their swivel, and then the thing going on with their head, that kind of like throws it off for me. It actually scares me for characters like Superman. So, God hope that they make him be able to look up. If he can't really get into a naturally flying pose. So, I don't know. But they look really nice. I mean, all of them. I mean, they might not be your favorite characters or whatever. Dead Man, Mr. Miracle. I don't think people really care too much about them.
It's a good mix. It's a good
I
mix for
agree.
the first wave. You have your A-list guys, your B-list guys. It's a good mix. It's basically a good statement to show that they're actually planning to do. They're going to do a wide range of characters and not just A-list characters.
Provided you buy the.
Very important. Yeah, as long as you buy them, of course. That'd be
gotta buy it.
I'm a cherry pick. I'll do a Justice League. I'll do Batman and his villains and stuff like that. But I'm not huge on DC. But I'm a definitely after fucking around with that Batman, I'm like, yo, these are actually really nice. So I'm a cherry pick.
Did you get any of that paint rub on the upper thigh?
I didn't go nuts because it wasn't my figure and shit. But I didn't see any problems with paint rub or anything when I was messing around with it.
Yeah, I didn't have much paint rub, whatever. But like Boog said, when you get the legs up and you get them, out to that V like that, that kind of really, But like he also said, the sculpt on this damn thing is awesome. This is everything streamlined. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the scale, Pharaoh?
Personally, I don't care about the scale. I'm not even. Don't even get me in the scale, man. I like the figure. I don't care about the scale. I'm not one of those dudes.
I think it's a good scale. I think it's a good scale, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to let myself be a slave to a certain scale. I'm not going to deny myself good figures because it doesn't fit in with a certain line or whatever else. I think a lot of people need to really let that aspect of collecting go.
Agreed.
I mean, a lot of people ask me, do they fit in with Marvel Legends? And my whole, I'm like, what the fuck does it matter if Batman fits in with Marvel Legends? Like, why the fuck are you asking me this? But I don't even, I refuse to answer that question. When people ask me that on my pictures, whatever else, I don't answer at all. I go right past that shit.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in private too, and it's like, yo, a lot of these dudes that be like complaining about scale and worried about scale ain't never set up a fucking display in their life.
Right.
Took a picture in their life. So like, what does it even matter? Like,
it's the same people that worry about articulation and don't pose figures. They don't spend time aggressively, dynamically posing the figures, but they still want to ask, hey, how good is the articulation? But they want to leave it in a museum pose.
Right.
Nah, the worst is the throwing punch like this. And you got the guy leaning back like this when he gets punched. Oh my god! Like that's why you wanted 40 points of articulation so you could do that bullshit.
Right.
Like Randy Orton over here, just throwing the arms back way too far.
That's how it be. So I mean, listen, man. If articulation is something that you really, are adamant about, and that's what it is, and you're going to be posing, then that's one thing. But to complain about it and complain about scale and this and that, and you just setting stuff up on your shelf, it really makes no sense. But for all of those out there that are like into posing and actively trying to set up displays and really about displaying, then you need to come out and join us in the A.C.B.A. Facebook group, because there's just amazing things coming out the group every single day. The shit is popping 24 hours a day, 365. I mean, it's just so much great content coming out of the group every single day that it's nuts, So I just wanted to do that quick plug real quick.
Shameless.
I just wanted to say quickly, like, I hear, it's a lot of guys out there, they don't really understand that articulated comic book art. Well, they didn't. Okay, A.C.B.A. didn't start figure posing. No one's, we're not taking claim for that. I mean, but cutouts, just certain things. Without the group, it just wouldn't be done. Period. When I came into A.C.B.A., I had already been posing action figures. I had cardboard dials, the whole nine. And but what I think that what's special about A.C.B.A. Well, first of all, just even the name, Articulated Comic Book Art, how it's abbreviated in A.C.B.A. You got a lot of guys coming along with their groups, and they abbreviated as well, putting art on the end of everything. I didn't hear anything called art until A.C.B.A. came along. I mean, it is I mean, as far as people joining the group, I wanted to speak on this too. When people join the A.C.B.A. group, you are sent a message. The message explains everything that the group is about. We ask you to please read the message. We ask you to agree with the message if you want to join. If you're reading some shit and you just don't agree, I mean, it might not be for you, back on out. And a lot of people say, oh, okay, click, and they join, and then they get critiqued, and then they turn into complete assholes, man. It's like, and then they want to know, like, oh, man, you guys are negative. No one's negative over there. Nobody is telling you, like, you're a bullshit artist, your shit sucks. Ain't nobody telling you that. It's just pretty much.
Telling you to quit now.
You say what now?
No, I've heard people say, like, oh, they told me to quit and all that stuff. No, that's ridiculous. No one's telling you that.
Nobody told anybody that, man. People always, it's always some shit. But, I mean, naturally, people want to join something. They want to be part of something. A lot of people have agendas on trying to join and then build their own thing or use it for their own publicity or whatever. I mean, I don't know. They just want to give people.
I mean, Al sort of spoke about it last week, how we have, and Billy as well spoke how, we have rules, and that's kind of what makes us different, is we do have rules, but Al made the metaphor with, when you get pulled over by a cop and stuff. It's a good metaphor. I was just thinking about it, in the past week, and maybe it's a little harsh. I think the easier way to get that point across is really when you think about writing an essay in school, and they give you a rubric where your essay has to be 5 paragraphs at least. It needs to have a opening statement. What's it called? Like a hook. I don't remember what it's called. A thesis statement. There we go. You got to have the 3 body paragraphs. You got to have a conclusion paragraph. If you don't include those basic elements of what an essay is, your teacher's going to dock you points. You're going to lose points on your assignment or whatever. But it's the same thing with A.C.B.A. We've set up almost like a set of standards for everyone to work towards, and people complain like, oh, it's you're only going to get likes if you're going to do a brick background alleyway with Spider-Man fighting a villain or swinging or whatever, Spider-Man something. I'm like, no, it's just that Spider-Man is a popular character with posable figures that's very versatile in a lot of displays, and it's a good way for people to, really dynamically pose a figure and set up a scene because it is such a familiar character and there's a lot you can take from, there's a lot you can do with it. So, I wouldn't mind if we did like an A.C.B.A. challenge, kind of like we do in Plastic and Paint, where we're like, okay, do a Spider-Man thing and just, do something simple with Spider-Man and let's establish like a standard. I think
for those that's at home that don't really know, we have a couple of things going on as far as like venues where you could go to just be a spectator, or if you want to get involved. The A.C.B.A. Instagram is on fire right now. We about to be at 10,000 followers in less than 1 year. It's other groups on Instagram that have been on Instagram for a long time that do daily challenges and different things like that. And all we do pretty much is talk about what's current and post pictures of what's current and post pictures of what's hot. And because of that, we haven't aligned ourselves with any other groups or anything like that. It's strictly, we pretty much standing on our own. So if you just want to kind of view stuff, if you just want to kind of look at pictures and look at what's hot and look at some of the best posing and best displaying on the internet, then you should definitely follow our Instagram. That's one. But the A.C.B.A. Facebook group is sort of like a training ground. So if you want to actually start actively displaying and learning how to light your display and learning how to pose and learning about anatomy and learning how to do things correctly, then you definitely want to join the A.C.B.A. group. But usually what people do in a group is that they'll post their best and their finished product in a group. We have another group called Plastic and Paint, which is I guess kind of exclusive or whatever, but it's not exclusive to the point where we won't allow anybody to come in, but it is a little more raw as far as the training aspect goes, and so it's a little more direct and raw as far as learning and tips and lighting and videos every day, and it's a lot of content every day. Whereas once you go to the A.C.B.A. Facebook group, you could just post your finished product, whatever you've been grinding on for the week and working on. You can post the finished picture, and we feature a lot of people's art from the A.C.B.A. group. Pretty much wherever we feature work on the A.C.B.A. website, on Instagram, on a Facebook fan page, whatever it is, it comes out of that group. The group is private, so everybody that's in the group are the only people that can see what's posted in the group, and it's a surprise to other people that are just spectating when they see stuff come out of the group, and the reaction that we get from fans and from followers and stuff is always positive, man. So if you've been collecting for a while and you want to move into displaying, you definitely want to come mess with us over on Facebook, no question about it.
I know I was a lurker for a long time before I started posting.
No
I think I
doubt.
started posting on Instagram first. But, I was always just kind of watching, and I knew posting in the Facebook group, you had to have, your number one shot, your final product, not something that you're still working on that you need some help. That's what plastic and paint is for, where you can do a little more, like you said, raw, just sort of kicking it with the guys, just show them what you're working on, and get some tips from there. So I browse both groups pretty intermittently, and they're kind of I'm a content sponge, and I get so much good shit from there.
I jumped right in. I mean, when I was when I first came onto the A.C.B.A. group, well, I wasn't a YouTube personality at all. I really didn't fuck with video at all, and I was actually fucking with Zobi and those cool nerd dudes or whatever. And he was like, yo, you should go over here to this group, go over to A.C.B.A. or whatever. And I was just, it was actually Boog's wall. I was posting plenty of pictures to Boog's wall. It's just like posting. He's like, post that shit in the group or whatever. And I mean, ever since I came on, I pretty much ain't really fuck with nothing else, man. I used to be on the Foosh really tough. I pretty much I don't go over there anymore. Not knocking it, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that all my attentions really got diverted to Facebook and fuck with A.C.B.A. And I think when I came on, man, you just don't know. I don't know if people actually remember, man, but I was trying to man, I argued every day about its imports. I remember back when I posted pictures of the Iron Man, the Rebel Tech, and people are, oh no, we'll do the Hasbro. Those things are $60, $55. No, that's too much. And I remember nobody had imports really. Like, people just would not buy them. And I mean, it took a lot of advocating for a lot of different things. And I think that the group actually helped, especially when people start buying certain figures and really like hyperposing them and having like outrageous displays and shit. I think that really, really helped people say, you know what? I can't do this with this figure. I do need that figure in order to do something like that. So, and now it's to the point to where, look at the page now. It's all types of shit. I remember it was a point in time where only Marvel shit really got likes. You couldn't really come on there with anything else. And people were, oh, man. I had an argument with somebody about that. Like, oh, it started from the Marvel Legends community. I'm like, I don't give a fuck where it started from. These are action figures. Fuck the Marvel Legends community. Fuck the DC community. This is a community in general, man. You know what I'm saying? Dope figures, dope poses, dope displays. Like, man, don't play yourself. Don't play yourself out on that shit, man.
No doubt. No doubt. Like and like we was talking about before we got on, as far as like, yo, the group used to be like real fucking raw, where it's like, yo, you post some whack shit, they was gonna get in your ass. Like there was no chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was just like, it was nuts. And like honestly, like a lot of people that's posing and stuff now, a ton of these people got their start in the group, and they've gone on to, start other groups or do other things or whatever the case may be. Some people might not actually admit to the fact that they came up under Pharaoh or under me or under whoever it was, but a lot of people got their start in the group. It was just that early on in those days, it was very, very raw, and I think that the thing that we've
ruthless
so much is just being able to interact with people in a better way, and it's very it's more PG, it's more inviting now. Things have definitely changed as we have added more admins, and the admins are doing things as far as like merchandise and this and that, and like, so things have really changed over the years, and I think the group is at an all-time high as far as like the level of work that's being put out, and the level of just teaching, just teaching people what's what. I think that is really at an all-time high. Like, yo, what's this kid's name that posted? Let me see if I could find this stuff right now in the group. But he had posted
about that kid with the man shot.
Which one?
Oh man, I don't remember his name, but it's the kid. He did the arrow, the Hawkeye shooting the arrow with Ant-Man on it, and then Ant-Man was, it was a multi-scale thing where he had the 3 3/4 inch, and then it grew into the 6 inch, and he had like the skewers coming out.
That's the young kid. I think his name is Clint Falls, but I wasn't talking about that. I think that
Clint Falls.
Clint Falls, but I'm talking about the kid that posted a Spider-Man picture a couple of months ago, and it was I think it was based on a comic cover, and it had Spider-Man kind of running across the building sort of sideways, and the camera was kind of swinging, and he redid the shot like today, I believe. And he was like, yo, I just took the advice from everybody and I grinded this out. I didn't really like the way the camera was looking before. It didn't look proper as far as the way that it should be swinging and the way that he was moving. And he changed it and he put up a new shot today. And that shit is fire. It looks amazing. Like, he took the advice and he grinded it out, and it looks amazing. So that's really what the group is about, man. It's about just reinventing yourself every time and coming with heat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are not really open to that critique, and they'll catch a titty attack. They'll feel a certain type of way if you try to tell them, like, yo, you can't, that doesn't look right, it's not anatomically correct, or whatever the case may be. So
right.
That's what it is.
And that person you're talking about, that he goes by Jan Says Meow on Instagram.
Right. Yeah, that's what it is.
So.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
Big shout out to him. Jan Says Meow. You know what? He be posting a lot of pictures of his fucking dog. But he does have some really, really nice A.C.B.A. though. No question about it though.
A lot of these dudes will have a lot of nice A.C.B.A. if they would just take the time out to actually, like you said, take the critique, work around some stuff, whatever. Nobody gets off, nobody just comes right into it, and it's just awesome. Well, I did, except me. I did. But seriously though, I mean, nobody comes. I look at some of my old shots. I went back. I was looking at some of my first pictures. I'm like, really, these cardboard buildings? I thought that was fire when I first posted that shit, man.
Oh, yeah. Some of that shit is no question about it.
So, everybody grows. The group has grown. We started off rough. I think it's the way that a lot of us came up to, how we speak to each other in private. We actually, put that off on the group. So, I apologize if I came off wrong, if Boog, anybody, came off wrong and put some people off to the group, whatever. It wasn't like we were meaning like, hey, that's bullshit. Like, your shit is garbage, trash, get the fuck out of here. Like, no one meant it in any way like that. Sometimes it was said, actually. So, but now, like anything, we've grown. We see error, we change things, we have, we grow. We all a lot older than we were, whatever. We recognize some of the things that we were doing, they weren't done correctly. So everything was open arms. We're willing to help anybody who, wants help. If you're part of the group, if you actually ask, because just this last week, it's been a couple of those guys that just didn't want to take the critique, and it's like, that's what the group is about. You can't come into the group and change what it's about. I'm not going to go to Taco Bell and demand that they sell me a slice of pizza. It's just not going to happen.
Real shit.
You got to come in. You just got to use the group. It's like a tool, man. Actually, just come in and use the group for what it's for. Like,
Hashtag what to grind on.
Right. And then you take that and you go to your Instagram and you blow up or whatever it is that you want to do. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But yo, moving forward.
Bring up an issue.
What was you gonna say, Fabio?
It just brings up an interesting issue, because there's a lot of people who are just really opposed to Facebook in general, not necessarily like groups, but just in general over like privacy concerns or whatever. But that's a problem that I have a lot running the Reddit page, is that a lot of people want to do a lot of their own posting and get the same sort of feedback that they would say on the Facebook group, but it's a different environment. The Facebook group just is the place where it's happening and where you're going to get that live, interaction with all the best artists doing this. And on Reddit, it's been more of like a gallery of featured photos, and a lot of people want to get in on that. And I keep telling them, join the Facebook group, and a lot of them just flat out hate Facebook. Will have nothing to do with it.
You know what it is though? I try to encourage people to just create an account just for you to go in the group and do what you do. You don't gotta have a post on your timeline and show pictures of your kids and all of that crazy shit. If that's not what you're into, then don't do that. Just create a Facebook account just so you could look at the fan page and just so you can benefit from the groups that are out there, and that's it. That's pretty much how I use Facebook. I don't.
That's what I was going to say.
That's it.
That's why I got back on Facebook, just to join the Facebook group.
Right.
Because I was without an account for like a year and a half or something. I just got sick of it, and then you motherfuckers drew me back in.
No doubt.
But not even tooting our own horn, man. Facebook, A.C.B.A. the group is one of the only places that you're going to go on Facebook and post a dope picture and get it recognized. And when I say recognized, like people hitting the like button by 400, 500, 600 people.
1,000 motherfuckers. Shit.
Wow, right. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
that's right.
We're all part of different groups. You don't see it. I mean, some places you might get 100 people like, okay, that's dope. But I mean, we have a lot of people that are actually active, and people are looking for a post to reach 1,000 likes. I mean, you got to realize at least 4,000 people are looking, even if it's not even recognized in the likes. People are actually looking at this stuff, whatever. So I mean, we're doing our thing over here.
Yeah, no question. Yo, to talk about that too, and if something blows up in the group and it gets to 400, 500, 1,000 likes, and it gets posted to the fan page, it's nuts. Like, yo, when you first when you first posted the picture of the Batman, the DC Icons Batman, yo, the notifications for that post on the fan page was nuts. I mean, it was an interactive post too, so a lot of people was commenting, a lot of people was liking. Yo, that post must have reached 10,000 people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not saying 10,000 people hit like, but over 200 people hit like on the fan page after over 500 people had already hit like on it, and it reached almost 10,000 people. So like, yo, your shit is getting out there. There's no question. What's homeboy name? And I love his stuff. John Philippe Antone that had that Star Wars picture like 2 months ago.
Raspberry Chainsaw.
Yeah, Raspberry Chainsaw. That shit blew up all over the internet. Like, yo, that was nuts.
Which one was that with the Stormtroopers?
Yeah, Stormtrooper beating up the other Stormtrooper working on the little starship.
Point to where people actually were stealing his picture. Like,
yeah, I saw that on Reddit before I got the chance to post it.
that was. And you know, the beautiful thing about that picture, not to dwell on it, was that it was all emotional. The whole thing, like him fuck with the toy, just the way he looked up, like damn. And you recognize it was like, oh man, I fucked up. Like yeah, that was really dope, you know. But I want to see more G.I. Joe on the page, man. I love G.I. Joe. I mean, I don't know how you guys really feel about G.I. Joe. You know, Boog, he posts snake eyes with rifles and shit.
Yeah, I love G.I. Joe. That was the first line that I ever collected, man. That was what got me into toys as a kid. Like, literally, like, yo, me and my brother used to have the crazy G.I. Joe wars, setting it up for hours. Like, yo, this is what initially brought me down the path of wanting to continue to display and do shit was G.I. Joe. So, like, I wish G.I. Joe would have a line that's similar or as good or better than the Acid Rain line that's out right now. Like, yo, G.I. Joe has some shit like that, yo, it's over. It's over for 6-inch everything, anything. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, yo, Acid Rain is a very slept on line. They kind of pricey. Some people can't really afford them, so they don't really fuck with them. And it's not like a known a known entity. It's not, it's not Spider-Man, it's not Superman, but yo, those figures is nice. Right. You know what I'm saying?
They are, man. When I was over at Ty House, it was the first time I really ever got to like fuck with them was at Ty's shit. But I'm fucking around with him. I'm like, I don't want to break his figure, so I'm like, hey man, like this shit open, man. I want to tear this shit up. He's like, no, go ahead. And it's sturdy, man. You're right. I was blown away by the figures, man. The paint detail on those vehicles are crazy.
Word. The first time I saw them was, I got to mess around with them was at one of these cons. My man Loco Lou had copped some, and we was out at dinner afterwards. And, that's like a tradition with us when we go to the cons, when we go eat whatever we bought for that day. People open it, we around the table messing around with stuff, and he was like, yeah, go ahead, Bug, do your thing or whatever, and I got to mess around. He had bought like 3 of them. I think they was like $30 each, but they 3/4 inch figures, so $30, $20, $22, $25 for a 3/4 inch figure. People not trying to really fuck with it like that, but yo, like What's that kid's name on the page that fucks with a lot of Acid Rain figures?
I don't know. I know you talked about. I don't know.
Shane Mook Warnock. That's his name.
Oh, him. Yeah.
He's going nuts with those. They look amazing when he photographs them. So they slept on figures. They real nice though.
Real quick, guys. We're about an hour into the show right now. It's 5:35, so maybe let's move on to the next topic real quick.
Yeah, no doubt. We getting long-winded.
Marvel Cinematic Universe, a little comic book television, and then we'll wrap it up and take some questions at the end from everybody in the live chat. I've been paying attention to the live chat, so guys, keep bringing in the comments and all that stuff, and if you have any questions, save them towards the end, and then we'll take the last 15-20 minutes to address any questions you guys have.
No doubt. Let's talk about Jessica Jones, man. Let's not give no spoilers away, but like, did you watch it, Fabio?
My internet's been down for I want to say like the last couple days.
This dude live in the project.
So
What's going on?
Here's the thing, though. It's that's been. So I'm still able to go on YouTube. I'm still able to go on Reddit and Facebook and a lot of sites, but I can't load Netflix. I can't load any of my streaming sites. So I've been behind on television for the past few days.
We got to talk offline. We got to talk offline. We got to connect for Plex or whatever, so you could get on this Plex and you can see it. You don't even got to go on.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a great show. I mean, I've been watching all the trailers. I've been keeping up with all the, the behind-the-scenes stuff and keeping up with the cast. And huge fan of Kristen Ritter since Breaking Bad. She did really great as Jane in that show. And she had that canceled CBS series, but I didn't check that out. I'm not a big sitcom fan, but yeah, I mean, she's a great actress. I'm a huge fan of her. I'm excited to check out the show when I get my internet reconnected or the
what's up? Smash or pass?
I don't know.
You know what? I'm a fan of the goth look. I like the bangs. I like the dark hair. It's a bang for me.
No doubt. I'd smash. I think she's weirdly attractive. Pharaoh, what you think, bro?
Y'all on with that. I mean, you know how it is, man. You could look at something like I ain't gonna smash, but then they get in front of you, and somebody
happens all the time, right?
Let me go and knock it down real quick. Ain't nobody gonna know. But I think the show started. I don't know. It started off to me okay because it's really gritty, and then it kind of. You said what?
You finish it?
No, not yet. I'm in the middle. I'm kind of deep into it.
Let's talk spoilers. Let's keep it general thoughts on the show.
No spoilers.
No. I'm just saying it just dragged for me. That's just what my opinion.
Why do you feel it dragged?
I don't know. It got repetitive. To me, it's okay, get to the point. Get to what it is you need.
Everything is about getting to the point for you.
I mean, it's all about the results, brother. But my girl likes it, so she's really keeping me into it.
Yeah, my girl.
There's not a lot of shit that she'll watch without falling asleep.
It's something a lot of the female fans are gonna love. I mean, it's strong female character. It also addresses a lot of the female vulnerability in the series as well.
No doubt.
It's something where it shows a female overcoming vulnerabilities, which is something that I think a lot of the female fans are going to appreciate.
My girl had one thing. The first thing she said was, "Damn, that bitch strong." that was her whole thing about it.
My girl didn't even catch on at first. In that, I could say this is not a huge spoiler, but in the first, I guess it was the first episode when she threw the shoe up at the ceiling, and she didn't even catch on at first that she had powers or whatever. I'm like, didn't you see when she threw the fucking shoe at the ceiling? She's like, I don't know. I thought the ceiling was already fucked up or whatever. I'm like, nah. So yeah, man. Going on what Emiya said though, you're absolutely right. As far as it's pretty deep. It's a psychological drama. It's
really great.
But I think it's good, man. I think it's great. I think what I've seen so far is great. I'm about 4 episodes in, so I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think it's pretty good.
Well, I'm gonna support the Netflix shows anyway because at least they're giving us characters that they wouldn't do on the big screen. I mean, Jessica Jones would have never got a shot at a movie.
No doubt.
So I mean, the CD and for those shows to be successful means just other little heroes for hire and all type of other shows might come from. So I mean, it's entertaining, it's something for me to watch. So fuck it, I'll watch it. Because
Which I think
God
Right.
knows,
Cage.
I'm tired of watching Arrow and shit like that. That shit's
What do you think of Luke Cage?
At first I didn't like Dude. I think a lot of people was campaigning for Terry Crews and for other people and shit. But I actually think they did.
Honestly, watching him in this series, I don't think anyone else could have done it.
No doubt. I agree.
he is actually pretty good at some stage.
I agree.
It's pretty much the guy who plays Locke in Halo 5. So, I mean,
Okay.
no, Spartan Locke? Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
So that's why, if you guys actually want to take a head from, because I think the Spartan Locke, the unmasked one, is actually based on his likeness.
Wow.
So
Okay.
wanna, like, steal a head from it to make sure.
I got that figure right here. So
They were gonna do. I thought they were gonna have Morris Chestnut play Luke Cage. I can't take Morris Chestnut seriously. He's just,
Man, that man actually does
Girl,
shit good
I'm saying.
except Ricky and Boys in the Hood, man.
Fuck that. I definitely don't want to see Morris Chestnut. I wouldn't want to see that. That would have ruined
Oh,
it.
you love them.
Nah. Fuck that.
yeah,
But,
Morris
I
Chestnut's in the
think
television
Dude is
series,
doing
girls
did a really good job. Though. I think it's a good pairing, man. I didn't even.
And
I
the
didn't even want to see that
chemistry,
chick. What you say?
chemistry that they both have is really
Yeah,
good.
definitely.
I think that's actually the most important thing.
No doubt.
And going into the Luke Cage TV series is going to continue. So
Mhm.
we'll definitely going to get to see more of that.
Iron Fist after that. That should be exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
How y'all feel about this show and as it stacks up to Daredevil? Like, I think people was I thought Daredevil was good, but Daredevil was a lot of fucking action though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was
Right.
a lot
Well, this one is a much more character-driven series. It's much more about the drama than Daredevil is. It's a more complicated story as well than Daredevil. I think Daredevil's a little bit more simple by comparison. The most important thing, again, they both serve different purposes. Daredevil is very action-packed. A lot of fighting in every episode. A lot of martial arts. While Jessica Jones, it's much more, more psychological, more of a thriller. Especially in the early episodes, David Tennant as Purple Man is very terrifying.
no doubt.
The way he's portrayed. There's no character in any of the Marvel stuff they've done so far. You look at a lot of these other characters, you're like, wow, that guy's kind of cool. That villain's kind of cool. But you actually look at Purple Man, the stuff that he does is something really fucked up.
No doubt.
Really I won't say necessarily. I watch a lot of extreme stuff, but even for a comic book show, I'd say definitely puts it over that. I think in that sense more violent than Daredevil.
I
Some
agree.
of the stuff you see, some of the really fucked up shit you see in Jessica Jones.
It's a mind fuck, no question about it. I agree with you there.
And
Yeah,
I'd
and
say a lot of that in
wanna
that
see this shit.
regard. Yeah, in that regard, I'd say there's those aspects. It's actually exceeded Daredevil. I think it's better than Daredevil in that sense. But you watch both shows for different things. If you're a fan, you're gonna watch both of them anyway. So, but I think definitely Jessica Jones, even if you're more about the Daredevil, more action, I still think really worth your time.
The only thing that I didn't like, and again, this is not a spoiler or anything, but some of the references that I saw so far, some of the little Easter eggs, I didn't like that they didn't reference the other characters by name and directly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at this particular point, it seems like wherever they are in continuity, the name of the Avengers.
Oh, they say green guy. And
Right.
guy who holds a flag, stuff like that.
The name should be known at this particular point. Like, that would have been like a huge deal, in the world and on the news and whatever the case may be. Like, there's no reason for you to say.
I think it would be cool for them to actually say the character's name as well.
Right. But that was my only gripe so far. But I think they hit the nail on the head as far as like something that is super appealing to women.
Oh,
And, just like with anything, if the women are gonna consume it, are gonna fuck with it, then it's no question that the guys are gonna fuck with it. So they're good. They're good.
And in this current time, there's so many female Marvel fans. I mean, it used to be completely male dominated, this industry, and now it's like there's tons of female fans. I will still say it's definitely dominated by males still, but there's a lot of female fans now. And so a show like this, I think, is very good to kind of cater to those fans as well.
No doubt. So yeah, we had about 15 minutes left.
Yeah, speaking of MCU stuff, though, I wanted to see if you guys want to talk about a little Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if anyone's keeping up with that show.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched that shit at all. So you could put me onto it. Let me know what's up with that show.
It's solid. I think they just started season 3. It's in the middle of season 3 right now, actually. And season 1, we deal with the aftermath of Coulson mysteriously coming back from the dead after dying by Loki's scepter in the Avengers, and then he sets up this new task force. Eventually, they discover that one of the girls that, basically the main girl that you've known since episode 1, she is actually part Inhuman, so she has some powers that get unlocked via the Terrigen mists, which is something really cool from the comics, So season 2 is dealing a little bit more with the remnants of Hydra and the splintering of S.H.I.E.L.D. post Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So we get to see some of the immediate aftermath of the destruction of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the revelation that Hydra has been within S.H.I.E.L.D. this entire time. So season 2 deals with all that, and it's kind of like a spy versus spy sort of thing. Pretty cool. But now in season 3, we're getting really heavy Inhuman stuff. So sort of the last half of season 2, we were seeing this main girl like I was talking about. Her name is Skye, but she's actually Daisy Johnson, who is Quake in the comics. She was taken in by a tribe of Inhumans, or a coven of Inhumans, I don't know. And eventually that got destroyed by Hydra at the end of season 2. So now season 3 picks up with her fully, having these powers, going from the beginning of the series where it was just Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now we've got some powered people in the mix that makes it really exciting. So season 3 has been dealing with this other Inhuman that's been going around killing other Inhumans, and doing really graphic stuff, putting holes in their chests and stuff like that. And we find out that spoiler for I think maybe 2 weeks ago, so I think it's okay to spoil this, but the killer Inhuman named Lash was actually someone who was within S.H.I.E.L.D. He was the psychologist or something, and had ties to everybody, and was using the S.H.I.E.L.D. information to hunt down all these people.
What was his powers?
He looks like a normal dude, and then he transforms into almost looks like Blackheart, actually, from the comic. If you have the Blackheart figure from the Onslaught wave, it looks a little bit like that, but a little less demon-y. He's got kind of the Klingon ridged forehead and these long tendrils, and shirtless because he looks cool. And then he makes portals and stuff like that. But he was captured in this latest episode, maybe 2 weeks ago. He was captured, and what we found out, the big reveal that has a lot of implications for going forward in the MCU as far as movies, and I know they're going to do the Inhumans movie, so it'll be interesting to see how this ties in. But they basically revealed that Hydra, while restarted by the Red Skull in the Nazi period, it's actually an organization that's been around for thousands of years as as almost like a cult that's been worshiping this Inhuman that was banished to another planet or whatever, using this rock monument. It's just called a monolith, and that rock actually liquefies and transports you to this other world. So Hydra, for thousands of years, has been sending people as tributes to serve this Inhuman on this other world, as building up his army and whatnot. So it has a lot of implications for how they're going to tie in the Inhumans movie, because we don't know if this Inhuman that was banished for being super powerful or whatever, we don't know if that's maybe Thanos. We don't know if it's some new character they haven't introduced or whatever. But it's interesting. It gives a lot more backstory to Hydra than just the deep science division of the Nazis. I don't know if the comics if this has influence from the comics, but Hydra is this old cult. So I think that's pretty cool and has a lot of really cool implications moving forward with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What do you guys think about that?
Man, I don't know.
I want to know if the Inhumans from the movie will actually tie into anything that has to do with the show, seeing that pretty much Coulson is dead in the movieverse. I mean, I've heard that they have no plans on bringing Coulson back at all in the movies. So I don't really know how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to really tie into the movies at all.
It's still technically canon. It does. address a lot of the stuff in the immediate aftermath of the movies, like Thor and Avengers. I mean, the whole show started off post-Avengers. And then
Well, I mean, the show does, but the movies don't really reference to anything that the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are doing.
That's partly untrue. At the beginning of Avengers: Age of Ultron, the whole reason that they found Sokovia and knew that Baron Strucker was in that particular fortress at that time was because of what had happened in the weeks leading up to the movie in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, where it was basically Coulson doing all the investigating, because he's kind of the new head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury is, quote-unquote dead, so Agent Coulson is the head of the new secret, S.H.I.E.L.D., and
what's his name?
Their
Josh?
work really led up to Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Didn't the guy who directed the movie pretty much say, though, Coulson is dead?
As far as the Avengers know, yes, but that's like you said, he hasn't been reintroduced into the movies, but as far as they know, he is dead.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have some huge Easter egg in Captain America: Civil War, or if some of these guys come back by the time that they do Infinity War Part 1 or something like that. Who knows? But I just wasn't really on to the S.H.I.E.L.D. show. I just been hearing everything.
It was weak at first. I gotta admit that it was a weak show at first, but season 2, now 3 has been really solid. But season 2 was getting a little better. Season 1 is admittedly pretty weak, but it does. A lot of the seeds that they've planted from the beginning of the show have grown nicely later on. So it's good to just bite the bullet and sit through those shitty few episodes.
So what about
it did get better.
What about Arrow and Flash, and y'all watching that?
I haven't really been paying attention to it much, but I heard that the Flash has gotten pretty good. I did do the first 2 seasons of Arrow, and I think what bothers me the most about Arrow is that they want him to be Batman.
Right.
So a lot of things with Arrow is just, I don't know. It started off okay, but now it's just corny to me. Especially the Black Canaries. Oh my God. And the Huntress, they were just so corny to me. I don't think I like any of the females on the show at all. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Felicity out the gate, but I don't know. The show irks me.
They're okay. I'm not a huge fan of them, honestly. I've watched pretty much what's on Netflix and then maybe like the premiere of whatever the current season is. But I don't really follow them. I don't know. They just don't really grab me. I watch them if I'm like working on display or something. I need background noise, but I'm honestly never fucking paying attention to it.
No doubt.
They're okay. Same with Gotham. I'm not a huge fan of that one either.
Yeah, I can't fuck with Gotham, man. I'm good on that.
Yes, I mean,
my girl loves
really
that. She's watching it faithfully. I don't know what's up. I'm not a fan of Gotham, man. You know
my
what?
girl asked me why I don't watch it. And I'm telling her,
Gotham, though, it's the fact that, like, we're not going to see Batman. Like, fuck.
Right, I don't need to see Batman before he's Batman.
It's crazy. So, yeah. But, we in our last 5 minutes, man. We want to take some questions and see if somebody's...
Yeah, let's do it. Heroes Reborn, real quick, is another good series. I've been watching that one.
I haven't checked that out at all.
It's pretty good. It's a nice little continuation from season 1, whenever it ended a few years ago.
Right.
The timelining is a little hokey, but I like it. It's solid. Effects, same thing, a little hokey. But it's a good watch. It's decent especially if you watch the previous seasons. I
did actually see a little bit of the first episode. I was watching it like how you mentioned. Just I was kind of doing shit and it was on, and like pretty much same sentiment though. Like the effects was kind of sus. So,
right.
Mr.
Flash has some pretty good effects.
Words.
I will give a mention to Flash for some good effects. They had King Shark a couple weeks ago. I haven't seen the episode.
Yeah, that should look good.
Your fucking character, and then they've had Gorilla Grodd and Zoom is the main villain and Atom Smasher. So it's been good. From what I've heard, they've got some good variety of villains. They're actually spinning it off into another show too with the guy that played Superman Returns. He's playing Ray Palmer, the Atom, and now he's got a team of heroes, and they're doing the Legends of Tomorrow. I'm not even sure what it's going to be about exactly, but it's another like spin-off of the Flash Arrow universe.
We got any questions? While we still on, we got 5 minutes. Anybody want to ask any questions?
Yeah, we got a question here from King of All Blurds. He asks, how far can Mesco's 112 collective go? He's got the Dark Knight and Dread on the way with Space Ghost coming and other DC figures, but do you guys think that this is the way 6-inch figures are going to go? This is going to be the evolution of 6-inch figures, with the bodies and the cloth clothes?
It would not be an evolution of figures, but I mean for Masco, possibly, because they had a lot of success with Batman. They had pretty good success with the Judge Dredd. I think the success of Dredd will go even further once the bike is available. I think that's just going to push it over the top, but I don't see every figure, being made at like the 112 scale figures.
Yeah, I copped that Batman. The Batman was the truth, no question about it.
Yes.
Batman was nice as hell, and I'm keeping this on ice. I don't even have it out in my display right now because I'm hoping that they do Superman at some point, and then I'll put this out in my.
They showed that, didn't they?
Display.
Yeah, they showed Superman. Okay, so basically. Okay, to answer the question, I'll give my thoughts on it, because this is something that, this is something I know pretty well. Basically, Mezco's 112 collective in general, that was pretty much an attempt to basically make high-end, very hot toys like, 112 scale figures.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that. I mean, you're always going to have the lower end stuff like your Marvel Legends, your DC collectibles, things like that. So no matter what, that stuff's always going to be around. To do this type of figure that Mezco is doing, the cost is always going to be higher than what a normal clientele, your normal base clientele who's used to buying things like Marvel Legends and things like that. They're not one.
Right.
Not a lot of those guys are going to pay $70, $80 a figure, and that's what the market Mezco is trying to get. They're basically trying to bring something that has the feel of a Hot Toys figure, but in 112 scale, and that's basically the high end, the more I would say upper mid end of what this type of thing is. So yeah, so definitely not gonna. It's not gonna take over. It's just going to be that they're going to do that. And as obviously they're trying to make it their thing since they're the first ones who kind of really pushed it. So.
Mm-hmm. And to add to that, it's kind of the same with the NECA retro cloth figures. It's a separate line, a lot of the same licenses, even some new ones that they can't really do in regular 6-inch form. But it's, a lot of these figures are kind of like mini Hot Toys. The fabric clothing does add a lot to it. I mean, the articulation is a little restricted on some of them.
Stop it. I love you, man, but stop it. No, those figures are not. Do not say that.
They're awesome. Pharaoh, you stop.
Those figures are awesome. More like the Mego stuff from like the 70s.
Exactly.
Right. This stuff is more like something like this.
Yeah, it's more on that line. Yeah, it's more for those collectors, while the 112 collective is more for someone who wants something that's basically a 112 scale Hot Toys figure. Which again, and they're priced accordingly. They're priced accordingly.
So who copped the Dread? Who has the who copped
I have the Dread.
You like it?
I like the Dread. It's really crazy how they use the magnets for the armor plates on each side. That was crazy because I didn't think it was going to actually move that much. The hip articulation is kind of limited versus Batman's, but I mean, the figure's dope, man, for what it is. I really want them to do a movie version, but I'll settle for that one, man. I like it a lot. Much better than the Toy Biz one.
I've been thinking about getting a Dread because I want to get the bike and I want to have that in my main display or whatever. So I definitely been thinking about it, but I've been like I had commented on somebody's picture somewhere. I've been feeling like a lot of people been real delicate with the Dread figure. I haven't seen anybody do anything outside of anything vanilla with that Dread figure.
But I don't really think it's much to do. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, they have drawn him in dynamic.
He's not like a character that jumps around and is very acrobatic type of character. So.
Okay.
Mostly just him pointing the gun and doing things like that is mostly what you would have him do. But I think probably people are like, it's like you said, maybe guys don't want to tear the clothing or anything, So.
I mean, it moves greatly. I mean, you can get the legs straight out in front of them. Like I said, as far as doing the splits, you won't get a split, but you will get the range, probably about like that. So I mean, everything moves on them like it's supposed to. The suit fits correctly and everything. I mean, I like it. You know, it was pretty dope. The sculpt of the face and everything. So I was on the fence too. I bought it late, and I went ahead and snatched
Did
it
you
up.
get the regular version?
Yeah, I got the regular version.
Regular version?
Yeah, and I think that because I don't know. I wanted to get the blue one, but I couldn't. It was like it's only the black one.
That's the Mezco Direct one? Is that the Mezco Direct one, the blue one?
No, everybody's is black.
Oh, everybody's is black? Okay.
Yeah, and then they got that real like shimmery looking blue one coming out.
Yeah.
They had the one with the black and white joint that they had that out at New York Comic Con.
That was exclusive.
I wasn't fucking with that though.
Yeah.
Black and white for you?
Real quick, guys. We got one more question, and then we're gonna wrap it up here.
Okay.
Cerrone Games Go on YouTube. He asks, do you think G.I. Joe will ever see a 6-inch scale line in 2016? I know we touched on this a little bit with G.I. Joe earlier, but I think it'd be cool to see like a Black Series G.I. Joe. I mean, that would definitely get me on board with the G.I. Joe line. I've seen like the 50th anniversary figures hitting, the big sets at Toys R Us. They even had the Comic-Con set at my Toys R Us. So I've seen them. I think they look really cool, those 3-packs and 2-packs. Really great looking figures, lots of accessories. But we talked earlier of how we don't, some of us don't really choose based on scale. But for me, this scale is just, I can't really work with it. It doesn't display, in my opinion, as well as a 6-inch scale. So I'd be excited to see a Black Series style G.I. Joe, provided it does not suck.
No doubt.
Okay, go ahead, Pharaoh.
Oh, no, go ahead, man.
I think a 6-inch series is something that a lot of fans want, and it's something that technically Hasbro can do anytime because they technically own G.I. Joe. There's no licensing negotiations or any kind of royalty. They don't have to pay anyone for the license. Now the problem I see with G.I. Joe is mostly right now. I think in our modern age that we live in, G.I. Joe is mostly a nostalgia license. Most of the kids and stuff don't really care as much about G.I. Joe. So I think the first few ways when you're doing your Snake Eyes, your Storm Shadow, your Cobra Commanders, your Destros, all these popular A-list characters, I think those few waves will do well. I think it'll be difficult when you get to the point when you start doing your more not as popular characters and how they would sustain the line after that, after I guess the first 2 years or so. I think eventually, if seeing a 6-inch is such a popular thing, it's considered the premier scale for collectors in the U.S. Especially since they finally did it with Star Wars. We had it for superhero figures for the longest time. I think naturally speaking, G.I. Joe is the next thing to do. And again, like I said,
a rumor that they were supposed to do this already, though, didn't they? Wasn't it a rumor out?
There's a rumor that there's a Snake Eyes prototype out there. They were going to premiere it at this past year's San Diego Comic Con,
right?
But that never happened. So yeah.
I heard a rumor that last year they were supposed to do X-Men box set for the Legends exclusive, and it was supposed to have Professor X
in the hover chair, yeah.
Right.
And it got scrapped last moment because again, everything is about the current. They did a Doctor Strange box set this year because that's the current thing. There's a Doctor Strange movie coming out. You did the Galactus, the Cosmic box set last year because Guardians was the thing that time. So everything is based on the times, and G.I. Joe right now, it's popular, I guess, among the crowd of people who do like it, but I guess as a mainstream, it's not mainstream anymore.
No doubt.
Especially with those weak movies.
Yeah. And the movies haven't been doing very well.
You know what? Those movies was like a guilty pleasure, though, man. Like they was like awful, but they still were fun to watch, though, in my opinion, though.
No, man, those things were like so hard for me to watch. Running Flint, and I mean, I watched those movies. I just said, oh God,
I mean,
like just
2 words.
G.I.
Joe 1, 2 words. Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, no doubt. I was just about to say that shit.
But you know what? Okay, listen, quickly.
Well,
He
it accelerates.
he wasn't that bad in the movie though.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. I agree.
It was one of his
But
more serious
it's fucking
roles.
Marlon Wayans. I just got done watching White Chicks yesterday while doing my
I
display.
can't take him serious, man. It's like the dude that's playing Deadpool. You can't take him serious in any roles. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Okay.
played in the movie with Denzel Washington. Like, you know, that was probably one of the only roles that he played that was serious, where it was kind of like, all right, but like 9 times out of 10, when you see him in a role, you just can't take him serious, man.
Hey, I got my own question really quickly.
What
Into
is
the
it?
Badlands. Have any of you guys watched this?
I watched it.
Did you not
I've
like
seen the
it?
trailers.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I'm saying okay. That's my new
entertaining.
show. I'm just saying that. Just want to put that out.
I'm just happy to see an Asian lead character in the TV series.
Hey man, I'm just saying the show was. I like the show a lot.
Good. First episode, second episode's about to start. Like what? Right now, like in an hour.
Yeah. You know what? Walking Dead is starting right now. We supposed to be out of here at 9, man. Let's take one more question and let's wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, we had one last one in the live chat right here. Let's see. He's got, what are the top 3 import companies you guys like? I'll go first real quick because I got no imports pretty much. I've got my first import figures for Figma. So right now Figma's up there for me.
It'll be Max
SH Figure, Tamashii Nations. To answer your question, it was Samus and Link. Love those. Great figures. So for me, it's Figma, SH Figure Arts, and I really like Reveltech. Reveltech's doing some good stuff. So, yep, that's it for me.
There are only really 3 topples, isn't it? like
Figma,
Bandai, and
Depends on what you buy.
I like.
What do you like, Bandai? Your Bandai is your favorite?
Well, you know, I like Figure Arts. I like Figure Arts a lot. I like
Bandai.
Figma and
Max
Figma
Factory.
a lot. I don't really. Rebel.
Medicos. Medicos is your third favorite.
No. I like JoJo characters, but Medicos isn't my third one. I would pick. Who makes Rebel Tech?
Keiyo.
Keiyo. Like, what is that?
Keiyo.
I don't know how to say it.
Kaiyodo. Keiyo.
Well, whatever it is, I like their company as well.
So they're number 1 or they're number 3? What are they? Oh, you silenced yourself. How about you, Boog? What 3 Japanese or import toy companies do you like the best?
I only have a few Figma figures, but the ones that I have are some of the best figures that they've released. So this Link from Max Factory is amazing. This is one of the best figures that came out in the past 5 or 6 years or whatever the case may be. Also,
that much.
Yeah, I think it's dope as fuck. The Samus figure, amazing.
Looks like he needs a horse.
Beautiful figure. Yeah, what's up with the fucking horse? I need that horse.
Horse head keeps.
I need those horses for my gorilla soldiers. But yeah, that's
too small.
great. My first import.
But yo, Figma is cool. Figure Arts is probably my favorite import company. I got all of the
you buy most of their stuff, so most of your stuff is probably Bandai, right?
Yo, I'll show you this too. This is it that I have on display in my main display, but also the Figma Solid Snake. This was one of my favorite figures of this year. I think this figure came out dope. A little bit of issues with the hand peg. They give you an extra peg though, but other than that, like this figure is amazing. I'm hoping that they do the Russian soldiers or whatever. So yeah, Figma is second, I guess. Figure Arts is first, and then Reveltech is behind.
So same exact thing as Pharaoh.
Yeah, Medicom, man. I don't know, man. Yeah, that Captain
Mayfex?
Fucking truth. That Captain
Mayfex has been dropping the ball lately.
Yeah,
this has been one of the best figures from Figure Arts, period. This Captain America figure. This was put together so well. I can't stand the Thor. The Thor is horrible.
Trash.
Yes, sir.
That shit is trash.
But this, Boog last time I was watching, he said the Hulk was trash. I don't agree with them. I think that the color was off. I think the face sculpt was off. But generally, like posability and everything, that figure was pretty dope.
It's a nice size, but I can't fuck with that Hulk, man. I'm happy I have it. I'm not like, yo, I wouldn't want to try to hunt down that shit after the fact. I'm happy I have it. let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Black Widow that's looking kind of ass right now, and Hawkeye that's looking pretty okay. But you never know. You never know until you get it in hand what it's gonna be. But
you know what else I was in? Oh my bad.
Go ahead.
I'll say I was impressed by the Mega Man. The Mega Man you sent me from the.
That shit was nice. That shit was really
nice. The arts.
No, the True Force. One made by the subsidiary of Sentinel.
Yeah, that shit was really nice.
Yeah. That Mega Man was really nice. I don't know. I have all my D arts right here, and I pretty much I thought this was the end all to all Mega Man, but nah. That Mega Man that Bug sent me, man.
That shit was very nice. That shit was.
Did you get one, Bug?
No, I didn't get one. When we was together at Comic-Con, Emiya, that was the only time that I fucked around with it or saw it out of the package or whatever. That was Pancho's figure or whatever. But I was tempted after seeing it and after you explaining it and everything like that. I was tempted, but I never really was a huge Mega Man fan anyway. I hated the game as a kid, so.
What?
I didn't like it.
Force is they basically have a lot of the Sentinel artists. The Sentinel is a company right now which is doing a lot of the they do a lot of robot figures which have a lot of engineering involved, a lot of moving parts, things like that. And they're one of the they have a lot of really great stuff coming out. So the Rockman being done by those guys, it definitely looks. It's the quality is there for sure.
Yeah, no question. My man Incurable Collector has been up on the Sentinel stuff and taking some really nice pictures with those figures. A lot of people that call themselves collectors and shit that only fuck with legends and shit like that, they don't be up on these other brands and other things and expanding outside of the norm or whatever. So but. I'm glad we're talking about it, though. Maybe that'll open up some people to some different things. And
yeah, absolutely. That's always.
A lot of people lose out with the whole thing. Like I said, it's mostly about scale because these Sentinel figures, even pulling this one out, the Sentinel figures are so awesome. I mean, they are a little pricey or whatever, but they're generally,
Yeah, they're definitely more high end. They're definitely high end for sure.
I mean, but I like the figures a lot. I wouldn't,
Yeah, the engineering on these figures is just off the wall. Like this stuff they're really, really revolutionizing, moving parts and things like that. A lot of the crazy, gimmicks and things like that. That collector fight.
I was talking to Boog about the figure and how, like, when you open the legs here, like, just how the panels move by themselves and everything.
Yeah, no doubt. When you showed me that, I was like, oh, shit, that's crazy.
So, I don't know.
Okay,
a lot of these collectors, they call it.
Get ready to wrap it up right here.
Sentinels
along here.
Figures right here.
I'm getting texts. My girl's saying wrap it up. She's texting me from the living room and shit.
Hey, I know, right? My girl looking for the remote.
We got Walking Dead to watch. Come on, we're holding people up.
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, I think we covered a lot here, man. Look forward to us doing this pretty much every week. I mean, again, this is something that we've been doing for a long time as far as us just chatting on Google Chat. This is normal shit that we do. So, we wanted to kind of be real laid back. Again, the first episode was kind of formal. We was kind of getting a feel for it and how it would show up on YouTube and this and that. But this is something that you'll be able to download and just listen to. And this is something that we want to keep doing every week, man. And I think that we have we got a good wealth of knowledge from the collecting community as far as the A.C.B.A. community goes and our admins and stuff like that. So, this is something that we want to keep going, man. And I respect all of these guys and their input on certain things. And, we got it all covered as far as domestic and import and whatever the case may be, we got it covered. So, yeah, man, thanks to my man Kolonel Krackers. Thanks to Pharaoh Black. Thanks to Emiya for coming on. And we're gonna sign off on this episode, and we'll see y'all. Maybe we'll see y'all next week. I don't know. I guess that's Thanksgiving weekend. Everybody gonna be drunk on turkey and
I'm gonna do the show myself.
Huh?
Are you gonna eat turkey, Pharaoh?
No.
No turkey? You don't fuck with the turkey?
Nah.
Yeah, I'll be eating turkey for the next week.
I don't fuck with Thanksgiving at all, man.
What? You ain't black, motherfucker.
Real quick, as of this point, you still haven't got your entry in for round 2. You've got less than 3 hours to get that
Yeah,
in.
no
So
doubt.
if you haven't gotten
No
your
doubt.
entry,
Make it
hurry up.
happen. All right, let's sign off, fellas, man. I'll talk to y'all on the
All right,
page.
man. Peace.
All right,
Later,
you guys.
everyone.
Peace.